Hey everybody, it's Brad from Ellicott City Sovac, and today I'm here with the new Bernina B790 Pro sewing and embroidery combination machine. This is Bernina's brand new top-of-the-line machine. It just came into the store today. They are currently available for pre-order. My understanding is that they will be sometime in the early to mid-August is when they will be available. But since I just got it today, I was able to play around with it a bit and find what I think are the most exciting new features that this machine offers. So I wanted to do an initial video with kind of like my off-the-cuff what I think are the coolest things that this machine can do that no other machine in the line can do. So let's get started with my top 10 favorite features of the Bernina 790 Pro. Feature number 1, the new automatic needle threader. Okay, so the cool thing about this needle threader is that you don't need to manually bring the thread over to the threader and have it catch it and pull the thread through. You just load the threader, hit the needle threader button, and it does it for you automatically in one go. Very, very cool. Let me show you the way that that works. You literally, I'm going to take the thread out of the needle. You literally just lay the thread into this guide that is there. You bring it onto the cutter on the side of the machine, and you press the button on the face, and it goes and threads the needle for you automatically, just like that. Let's take a closer look so that you can see exactly what I'm doing and how easy this is. Okay, I take the thread, I lay it into the guide, bring it around the cutter, pull straight down. I'm touching the button on the screen, and the needle's threaded. So, I mean, that's really, really easy. I love it. You know, a lot of people I've seen struggle with the way that the needle threader works on some of the other machines, and it just couldn't be easier. So that's number 1. Number 2, Bernina Pinpoint laser for sewing. Okay, now this one I'm really super excited about. The laser is really, really, really cool. And what is so cool about it is the precision that it gives you. It shows you exactly where your needle is going to go, and that combined with the machine showing you on the screen exactly what stitch, what part of the stitch it's going to do, makes it so that you know for sure exactly what stitch is going where. And so I'm going to show you an example of where that's really useful by sewing on an applique. And turning corners with it. So let's get my machine set up, and I'm going to get the camera to look closer so that you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I have selected a blanket stitch on my sewing machine, and what I want to do is I want to do applique for this blue triangle. I've been using this as like a sample experiment all day, so I'm going to show you how this works. I am going to just line up the right-hand side of the fabric with the laser, and when I put my foot down and hit the gas pedal, it's going to come in and start, and that first stitch, it's going to tie in here, but that first stitch is perfectly on the edge of my applique, and I'm just going to go ahead and keep going, and you can see before it takes any stitch, it shows me exactly where the needle is going to come down. And every time it takes a stitch, before that stitch hits, it puts that needle right where the stitch is going to go. It is super precise, super accurate. I love it. I just immediately became enamored with having this laser built into my machine. I want every machine that I have to have this. All right, now we're getting close to the edge here. I can see exactly where this bite is going to go. I'm going to use my heel to take one stitch, hit it again. You can see the next stitch is going to go there. And we'll do one more bite. And then it comes over. The next stitch is going to be right here. And let's see, we'll let it come up. And we'll set this to be like right about here. That way I know that that stitch stays on the material. Okay, next stitch. I just love how accurate it is with where that laser is going to go. Look at that. That is pretty good for somebody who has literally no idea what he's doing. Alright guys, I don't know how well that came out over the video, but I mean, you gotta see it in person. The way that that laser just shines right for like a split second before the needle strikes where it's gonna go, and it is just dead on every single time. That's amazing. I love the way that that works, and I wish that all machines had a laser like that. Now I'm like instantly spoiled by having that precision laser on there. So that's number 2.
Number 3, long arm quilting designs.
All right, now number 3, we're going to get into some of the embroidery features on this machine, and one of the things that's really awesome that they did for this is they made it a true computerized quilting machine. And what I mean by that is this machine is capable of reading long arm quilting files. And the difference between like an embroidery file, quilting file, and a long arm quilting file is a long arm quilting file you can size up and down and smoosh and change the dimensions of without messing up the stitches. It essentially is a path that the machine follows, and it applies stitches within that path the way that you set it to do it. So with this machine, I can tell it, okay, I want this shape, and I want 10 stitches per inch or 8 stitches per inch or however many stitches per inch you want it to be. You set that, and then it doesn't matter how you size the design. So I could have a design and I want to put it on a small like a lap quilt project, but I've got a big, I've got, whatever the design is I want to use, I can size it down so that it fits in there without having to have any kind of special software or anything else like that. It has a ton of these built in. So let's look closer and see exactly how this works. Okay, so looking at the embroidery design categories in here, number 2 is where my quilting designs are, and all of these designs, there's 8 pages of these, and there's just page after page of these designs. As we scroll through all of the designs in this category, many of which are able to be used as a continuous line pattern, all of the designs in these can be scaled to any size, and they can be adjusted, they can be morphed. I'm going to talk about in one of my other top 10 features the ability to skew any of these designs to fit any shape. So if we've got a block that we want to fit these to, we can do that easily. And here on page 8 we see 76. There's 76 long arm quilting designs built into this machine. And let's look at the way that this works when we bring one of them up. If I bring up a design, it doesn't matter which one. If I bring up a design here, it's going to bring it up, and this one we can see can be done continuously because the start point and the stop point are level with one another. But we can take this design and size it, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all what size I make this. So if I want to make this, I want to make this 40% of the original size, that's okay. I can do it. And it's going to work just fine because the machine is going to automatically assign the amount of stitches per inch that I tell it to do. So that is super, super cool. So if I have this design and I want to sew this out, I want to have this as big as I can possibly make it, I could go into my hoop selection and tell it, well, what if I have the maxi hoop and I want to put this design in there? Well, we can do that. We bring it in, let's say I want to rotate this so that it fits long ways. But if we want to go in here and size this up now, I can blow this up. There's literally no limit. There's not like, it's not going to stop at 200%. It's not going to stop anywhere. I can size this literally as big as I want. It does not matter. There are no limits because this file doesn't actually have stitch information until you get to the stitch out point, and that is then gonna go and assign 10 stitches per inch or whatever setting I set it to. I can go into my options, and if I prefer 12 stitches per inch, we can have that too. So that is awesome. Now, why would I want to do this? Like, let's say that you're somebody that has a long arm already, and you want to do like a little wall hanging or something like that, that wouldn't be worth setting up your whole long arm to do. But if you have something like this, you can go ahead and just sew it out real easy. And I'm going to show you when I get to the using the laser light in embroidery, how easily you can do continuous embroidery with this thing. But just the fact that we have these long arm quilting designs built in, and it's not just the ones that are built in. This is capable of reading any long arm quilting design that's in the BQM format. I actually digitized a design earlier in the RNK has a program called Design and Quilt, and one of the things that it's able to do is digitize long arm quilting designs. I saved my design in a BQM format, put it on a USB drive, and I could load it right in here and resize it just like I am with these designs that are built in. So if you've got like a design pack from OESD that's got long arm designs in there, you're able to do it. And there's lots of different programs out there in the world that are capable of making custom designs in the right format for this. So I think that is a fantastic addition to the embroidery capabilities of this machine. Number 4, Pinpoint laser for computerized quilting and embroidery. Okay, so here's the situation. I've got my quilting project hooped. I'm using the brand new small quilt clamp frame. This doesn't come with the machine, but it is a brand new product that just came out. It's a 6-inch square. So you'll see me using this as I go through here. But we're going to sew out the first iteration of my design. It's a continuous line design, and I want to link up the next pattern basically with the end of the one that I sew out now. So we need to start one here so that we have one to connect to. And the first thing I'm going to actually do is I have this machine in quilting mode. There's a new mode, which I guess I should have made one of my numbered things. But there's a new mode that sets it when you're doing embroidery so that it knows it's doing a quilting project. It turns off all the trims, it changes the tension, does a bunch of stuff under the hood to make it ready for doing quilting in the hoop. So I need to actually bring up my bobbin thread manually. It's the first step. Just like we're using a long arm. So I'm going to hold my my top thread and my bobbin thread as I hit the start button, and off we go. I'm just going to go ahead and trim these. You can bury them if you want. Okay, man, the stitch quality really is just fantastic on this, by the way. Take a look at that. So notice it did not cut at the end. It left my tail for me to go and trim. That way I can either pull that to the back and bury it if I want, or I can trim it. I'm just going to go ahead and trim it. And we're going to get set to do the next hooping. Alright, so the way my clamp frame works, I've got this piece that kind of holds everything together, and then I clamp the clamps down. Again, this isn't something that comes with it. I'm just using it because it's brand new and I have it. And, you know, I'm really enjoying it. It works really well. It holds more securely than a magnetic frame does, but it is more time consuming. But I do feel like the additional stability, especially for a small project like this where I don't really need like a massive hoop, is worth it. It really holds the batting and everything really effectively. All right, so I'm going to take this grid out of here. All right, so as we can see, my dot is not perfectly lined up with my stitch, so we're obviously going to have to move it a little bit, and we can use our knob to do that. I'm going to let it overlap just a little bit so that I know there's not a gap, and I can move it one way and the other. So I'm just going to make it so that there's just a hair of an overlap there, so that there's definitely not going to be a gap. And that is pretty good, looks pretty good to me. So I am going to go ahead and tell this thing to bring my bobbin thread back up to the top here. And we're going to get this show on the road. Okay, so there you have it. That is so easy. And I mean, getting it that precise is really, really frustrating when you don't have a precise laser like this. I've had many times when I've thought that I have something lined up perfectly and it's just barely off, and it's very frustrating when that happens. So with this, I'm confident that where that laser is shining is where it's going to go without me having to go and turn the hand wheel to make sure I can see exactly where the needle is going to fall. So let's take a look at the underside here. My bobbin thread looks great. Let's back this up a little bit here. I'm kind of zoomed in pretty far. And we can take a look at both sides where that join is right there. I mean, you can't even see it. I mean, if I didn't know exactly where that was, I wouldn't be able to detect it. I think it's just that good. It really does just a wonderful job of joining the two things together. And that accuracy is present in any type of embroidery that you're doing, but I feel like for computerized quilting, the precision that you get with this is just unparalleled. I absolutely love it. Number 5, 4-point morph. Okay, so the 4-point morph is a function where I can take one of my quilting designs and fit it into any shape. This does two things. It changes the shape of the design, and it also places the design precisely, okay? So what that means is it's okay if I hoop it crooked a little bit, right? So I intentionally hooped this little applique crooked so that I could show you how it doesn't matter if it's crooked when we do it. So what we're gonna do is there's a button on our screen. Let's swing over to our screen. So here on my screen, this is the design that I've selected that I want to put in that rectangle, and as we can see, this is a square design, so it's going to have to get smooshed to fit in my rectangle. This button here and then this button here is what's going to allow me to do that. So the first thing I do is I select a point that I want to morph, and I'm going to pick this top left hand one. It doesn't really matter which one I do. But now back to the embroidery hoop. That is now showing me where, I know it's hard to see on this camera, but there's a laser dot right there where my finger is. That is showing me where that top left corner currently is, and I can just move it by using the wheels on the face of the machine, so I can move it to exactly where I want that corner of the design to be. So it's super precise, again, just like everything else. Now I'm going to touch the top right hand corner, and I'm going to move just the same way. I'm going to move this laser until it is right in the corner, and this is both going to morph the design and place it accurately and rotate it all in one step, which is just phenomenal, I think. So let's see, I'm gonna get this so that I am satisfied that that's in the corner. Now let's look at the screen for a second, just so you can see what's happening to the design. You see how it is now morphed. You see that? Now it's going to get even more smashed when I start doing these next ones. So I'm going to just keep going around clockwise to the next one, and now we're going to raise this up. Until I can put that laser dead on in the corner. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and do the last one. I know it's hard to see that laser where it is on this blue fabric, especially, but that is right in the corner. And if we look at my screen, we can see that we've got one smashed little quilting design in there. So maybe that wasn't the best one to pick, but I wanted something that goes all the way to the edges, because number 6, margin setting. Okay, I may be cheating because this is technically part of this. Tool. But if I want to set a margin, meaning a margin where there's a gap between where I just defined, the space that I just defined, and where the stitches are going to go, I can set that. So if I just go up here, I can set this to apply an 1/8 inch, a 1/4 inch, or you can really just keep pushing this in. Now, if we go any further than that, then it won't, it's not going to be able to sew it out. It actually beeped at me to yell at me that it can't do that. So let's set this to just an 1/8 of an inch margin, and we'll go ahead and sew it out. Okay, so that was pretty cool. It fit the design exactly to the space and left me a margin so I didn't run over my applique sewing. I love it. I really, really love it. Number 7, Stitch Precision 2 technology. Okay, so Stitch Precision 2 is kind of an umbrella term that Bernina is using for a suite of changes that they made to the machine. And it is kind of like the first of its kind, and now all machines in the future are going to use Stitch Precision 2 technology. So what is it? Number one, they redesigned the hook. Bernina's Bernina hook is what they call it. Is pretty awesome the way that it works. They machine it out of a single piece of steel, and what they did was they made it a little bit lighter and they made it a little bit quieter, and that was just a minor redesign of that. But all Bernina machines in the future are now going to use the redesigned hook. They also did some kind of Swiss magic to the embroidery unit, and they made it so that it can run up to 33% faster, so you get your embroidery done more quickly. It also they are calling they redesigned the take-up lever on the machine to make it impossible for the thread to fall out of it. That's part of the Stitch Precision 2. So these are all things that are only included on machines that say Stitch Precision 2 on them, and this is the first machine that they have come out with that does that. Number 8, Wi-Fi. That's right, Wi-Fi. This is the first Bernina machine that has native Wi-Fi capability. You don't need any kind of thing to plug into it to do it. What that's going to do is it's going to allow you to transfer embroidery designs to the machine wirelessly without the requirement of having a USB drive plugged into it, or needing some kind of special Wi-Fi dongle like they had in the past. The machine is just natively able to connect to your Wi-Fi. And then the other thing is it has a monitoring app that you can get from the App Store, where you can get a notification if your machine is running a large embroidery design or something. You can go somewhere else and be alerted if it's time to change the thread or the bobbin runs out or something like that. And that is available on Android or on Apple. So that's the Bernina Stitch Out app in the App Store. Number 9, multi-line text. Okay, so they finally have decided to add a feature that has been missing for a long time from Bernina embroidery machines, and that is the ability to do more than one line of text at a time. And I know that if you're somebody that does lettering designs, like you're doing Bible verses or poems or something like that, if you don't have multi-line text, it's very, very frustrating. So you're able now to do more than one line at a time. So if I type in a word or a phrase, I then can go down to the next line by hitting enter. It now shows that we're on line 2 of 2, and we can go in and type in our next line and hit enter to go to the next line again. And then something else to notice is this keyboard is not in A to Z order like almost all embroidery designs in the world are. They have changed it, and now the keyboard is in QWERTY like a normal keyboard on a computer, which is, I mean, that's how I look for key layouts to be. I mean, our phones are like that, our keyboards on our computers are like that, so I think it's great that they added that. I'm just going to keep that in the lettering category. When I hit the check mark here, we'll see that it brings in our Bernina is cool in there, and you can also go in and change the justification. If I want the lettering to be justified to the center or to the right, I can do that. Just right here. Now it's centered. Now it's right justified. So we have that ability as well. So super, super cool. Glad that they added that, because that would drive me up the wall. Number 10, labels in the Creative Consultant. Okay guys, I have always loved the Creative Consultant that is built into all current Bernina sewing machines, and that is this little dress form icon here. And what they've done is they've labeled what all of the fabrics in the Creative Consultant are, which is so great, because every other machine other than this one, it's just the picture. It's just a picture, no words. So you have to guess what each one is, or you can hit the question mark button and then guess which one you may be thinking you want to do, and figure out what each icon means. Now I can look at this and I can say, oh, okay, I'm gonna sew on denim. What do I need to do? I can touch that denim button, tell it what type of stitch I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna sew a seam on denim. Tells me what kind of thread to use. It tells me what kind of needle to use, what kind of presser foot to use. I hit the check mark and it goes in and presets a bunch of stuff. It changes the tension, it changes what the stitch length is, and all these different things, and selects your stitch for you automatically. I love, love, love that feature. I always have. It's great, and it is so cool that they finally show you what the icons are, because I have sat there and stared at those icons and tried to interpret what they mean, and now I don't have to do that anymore. It's great. Okay guys, so those are my top 10 features that are new on the B790 Pro. Of course, there are tons of other features that are shared with other machines in the line. For instance, this machine has a built-in walking foot. I can just bring the walking foot down at will instead of having to do a bunch of gymnastics to attach a walking foot to my machine. It is built in, and having a built-in walking foot is always preferable to having one that you attach to the machine, because it is literally timed to the lower feed. I love it. It's one of the reasons that we started selling Bernina, is because I wanted to have a machine with a real dual feed system, and these have it. The bobbins that they use, they call it a jumbo bobbin. It's a bobbin that is the size of a $50. Let me pop this bobbin case out of here and show you. This thing is absolutely massive. You can almost fit an entire spool of Mettler Metrocene on one of these bobbins. Look at this thing. It is absolutely enormous, and I love that. They also make it so that you can't put it in the bobbin case wrong, which I think is pretty slick. It only goes one way, so there's no question as to, am I making a Q, am I making a P? No, you just put it in there the only way that it goes, because there's only one way for it to go. Love that. It's also got the Bernina presser feet, which are wonderful. I really, really like the way that they attach to the machine with the shank, and there's no screwdriver needed. I can do it one-handed. I don't even have to look close at it to do it. Look at that. I just put that foot on there, and anybody can learn to do that. I mean, it took me a couple tries, and now I can just do it. When you do embroidery, you can take this table off of here and use the free arm to go up inside of sleeves and stuff like that, which is great. And I didn't even get to the best part, which is that if you pre-order this machine, okay, there's a huge gift package of stuff that's coming with it right now. Okay, so if you pre-order the machine, like I said, it's probably going to be sometime in August that we get them. Early to mid-August is what I've been told. So if you pre-order before then, you are going to get the following. This awesome Bernina embroidery bundle, which comes in a beautiful box. I just love this box. I'm being so careful when I open and close it because it's just so pretty. Look how on the inside it says Bernina. So this is the embroidery bundle. This has a ton of stabilizer. It has a ton of thread and needles, some OESD signature embroidery designs, which are great. OESD tearaway tape. There's also the embroidery workbook in here. They call it the Big Book of Embroidery. And these big books that Bernina puts out are absolutely fantastic. Every time I crack one open, I learn something new. So this is fantastic to get with your new machine. And you also are going to get the maxi hoop. This is the 40 centimeter by 21 centimeter, roughly 8.5 by 14, somewhere around that area, embroidery hoop. This is not one that normally comes with the machine. This is pre-order only. This is a $530 hoop coming with it for free. This hoop is fantastic for doing edge-to-edge embroidery because it has a twist lock. You just twist the lock and the hoop pops out. So that is coming with it. And you're also getting the complete luggage set, the machine box with the handle that brings up and you can carry it, the embroidery unit case that attaches to that to fit your embroidery unit in there. Everything you need to safely get your machine to and from class, those are included with the pre-order as well. Okay, so let's talk price. Regular price for this machine is going to be $16,499.95. All right, now we are doing a pre-order special where you get that whole bundle that I just listed for the special pre-order price of $13,999. All right, so that price is good until I have them in stock. So as long as I'm pre-ordering them, you can pre-order one for $13,999. It's going to come with all that stuff: the trolleys, the hoop, the bundle, and then there's also an online class that you get for free from Bernina. I think I forgot to mention that when I was doing the last section, but you do get that. And so that's if you want to reserve one, it's a $500 deposit, and then that will reserve one for you. And then once I get them in August, you can pay the balance. So that is the deal. Now, remember, when you purchase a Bernina machine from us, we are going to give you unlimited one-on-one instruction for life, and you are also going to get 5 years of free service and maintenance on the machine. So you want to bring the machine and have it cleaned and adjusted, that is free for 5 years. You also, if you've never purchased a machine from us before, you also get a lifetime 10% discount on thread, notions, fabric, accessories, all of the stuff that we sell pretty much except for sewing machines and things that are already discounted. You get that for life when you buy the machine. So that adds up with when you're buying feet and you're buying hoops, you get 10% off forever for all of that stuff from us. So I hope that you guys are as excited about this new machine as I am. I'm planning to do some more videos on Bernina stuff as it comes out. I have some more stuff that I'm waiting to get, and hopefully I will see you again soon. Thanks for watching.